Welcome to the program. Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission officials are at this moment in Nairobi's Kariobangi estate following claims that an illegal BVR voter registration is taking place. The alarm was raised by the Coalition for Reforms and Democracy, CORD. And joining us now is our senior reporter, Patrick Amimo, who is at Kariobangi. Patrick, good afternoon. What can you tell us about this latest BVR standoff?
Good afternoon, Michelle. Indeed, this is a matter that was raised on Thursday, even when area residents claimed that there was a possible massive transfer of voters who are calling a registration center by the name Marura Primary School that is in Bakassi North constituency. So they raised the alarm on Thursday. And what happened was that the police officers on the ground did confiscate those BVR registration kits to put it in safe custody at the police station. Then the officials from the Independent and Electoral Boundaries Commission came on the scene to probe the matter. So far, we've spoken to the investigating officer at the IEBC, who says that the commission is investigating those allegations. So far, people, what was said is that people were claiming that these kids, the clerks were transferring them and registering people at night in some areas that are not designated as polling stations. So what the IBC official on the ground has told us is that the clerk who was responsible for that particular area has been transferred, and another one brought in to at least restore that confidence among those in the Bakassi North constituency. So, as I'm talking to you right now, the voter registration process is ongoing. Though the clerk who had raised suspicions, the commission has transferred that particular staff to another polling center. So the IBC official has said that the commission will investigate the allegations because according to politicians who spoke to the Bakassi South Member of Parliament, Judicial Sumra, he says that around 600 people registered on Thursday. That's when before the alarm was raised. But according to the IEBC officials, this indicates that around almost the figure could be around 250 personnel. But they'll go to investigate that file and see if these allegations are true or false. But as I'm talking to you now, the voter registration exercise is ongoing, and I think area residents have been urged to come out and register, take advantage of it, of this particular process, which is only now remaining with at least 2 weeks before closure. Michelle?
All right, Patrick Amimo there reporting from Kariobangi, where the Coalition for Reforms and Democracy claims an illegal voter registration exercise is ongoing. And still on the voter registration controversy, the Public Service Cabinet Secretary Cecil Kariuki has defended plans by the ministry to use a biometric registration system when enrolling youth in the NYS Jobs for Youth programs. She has refuted claims by opposition coalition CORD that her ministry is conducting a parallel voter registration program to help the Jubilee government rig next year's elections. Kariuki was addressing about 110 youth and women groups at the Musila grounds in Mwingi Central constituency.
Putting necessary measures in place for us to relaunch the programs, and that in due course we will be back just to assure the public and the young men of this constituency and county that indeed we have taken measures to ensure that when we come back, one, we have registered through the biometric registration all the men, the young men and women who were engaged in the NYS programs. And the reason we chose to have a biometric registration of these young men and women is to avoid any incidents of ghost registrations of people who would otherwise not be accounted for. In this way, and with the biometric registration, when we resume the interventions, it will be very easy for us to pay the right people for the work that they will have done. So it is one of the control measures we are putting in place as we come back with the revamped NYS. To also say, and this is my appeal, a few days ago, including today, it has been reported in the media that biometric registration of the youth under the NYS program is a parallel registration process to voter registration. I wish to confirm that NYS, and indeed my ministry, is not involved whatsoever with the registration of voters. That is a different exercise under the AIBC. The biometric registration that we have been doing of the youth of this country is specifically in respect of NYS programs. A further request is that we should put this true position to the public so that there is no reasonable doubt. I want to appeal to the politician to kindly support us as we come to serve the youth of this country.
In Kisumu County, 5 children are admitted at the provincial hospital after an accident involving a car belonging to Victory Children's Home. 15 children are heading to Homa Bay for a football match when the accident occurred at a stage called Ayueo just before Ahero town. Witnesses reported that the driver seemingly lost control of the vehicle, which then rolled onto the side of the road. 10 of the children have been treated and discharged, but the 5 remaining ones have serious injuries, including spinal and head injuries. More on this in our later bulletins. Still in Kisumu, a deworming exercise that was being carried out countrywide on Thursday in all primary schools almost turned tragic when 39 pupils from Kisumu County were rushed to hospital. The pupils from different primary schools began complaining of stomach aches, dizziness and headaches yesterday morning. About 15 pupils from Angira, 2 from Rai and 22 from Ongadi Primary School in Kajulu were rushed to Gita Health Center for treatment after receiving deworming and bilharzia dosage administered by the Ministry of Health. Ongadi Primary School Deputy Head Teacher Jean Ambira said she sent over 20 pupils to Gita Health Center after they complained of headaches and stomach irritation. Kisumu County Director of Health Dr. Ojwang Lucy on phone said they had instructed that the drug be administered only to those who had eaten because of its side effects.
Kwa safari yangu ilikuwa naenda town, ndio nikakutana na watoto from Ongadi Primary School. About 12 of them wanabebana kwa njia, mtu amebeba mwenzake. Na nikaona wamechoka sana. Nikaandamana nao mpaka hospitalini. Kwa maana wengi wao walichoka sana. Walileta hii dawa. Dawa tunapenda kabisa. Inatusaidia, lakini sasa hii imekuwa kama kitu ISG ilikuwa dawa ime-expire, tunasikia natangaza huku. Watoto wenye walimeza hiyo dawa wote wamekuwa wagonjwa. Na nimesikia kama daktari anasema hapa Gita ati wangekula kwanza. Au daktari wenye walileta hii dawa wangeuliza watoto kabla hujakula uzimeze dawa. Ukisaa kula ndio uende nyumbani, ndio kusaa kula ndio urudi umeze dawa. Mimi kama mama nina huzuni sana kama watoto wanakuja peke yao bila mwalimu. Naomba walimu Kenya nzima mali iko na hii sida, mwalimu aandamane na watoto ili wafike hospitali kama wako na mwalimu wao, kwa maana sisi tuko nyumbani, walimu ndio wasasi saina kwa watoto.
Now yesterday was 25th February. The pupils were being given 2 types of drugs for deworming, and it happened all over the country yesterday. So we carried the exercise yesterday and we did not have any complaint yesterday. It was only today in the morning around 20 pupils came to me in the office. They were complaining of headache and stomach ache. Then I decided to write a letter to the nearest health center, which is Gita. Then I sent them with 1 teacher to that health center.
Inspector General of Police Joseph Boynet says the police is on high alert following the realization that proscribed criminal groups such as Mungiki and Sungu are being resuscitated ahead of the 2017 general election. Meanwhile, the police boss said that Al-Shabaab threat is still alive and that the militants are targeting security installations.
Yule mwananchi yote anaye anataswisha mawasiwasi kama huo anaweza kapiga simu 999. Na kwa kawaida sisi polisi tuchukua habari yote tunayopewa na wananchi kwa makini kabisa. Na hivyo ndio kufanya kazi pamoja na wananchi ndio imetuwezesha kupigana na ugaidi, kupigana na wapikaji pombe haramu na kupigana na wakora wa aina nyingi mbalimbali. Tukifanya kazi pamoja na wananchi.
Political leaders from Central Kenya are calling on those mentioned in the NYS corruption scandal not to drag the entire Central Kenya community down with them. The over 100 county assembly members from 11 Central Kenya counties emphasize that involvement in corruption is an individual decision which should not be interpreted as being a collective undertaking. The sentiments come in the wake of affidavits filed by suspects which listed new names of political leaders alleged to be involved in the NYS corruption scandal.
Together, I'm going to be the MC of the day. We are also going to have the MCA, Chairman, Secretary General.
Wale wote waliotajwa kwa sakata ya NYS wabebe mzigo wao, msalaba ni wao, lawama ni zao kibinafsi, na wakome kabisa kuingiza siasa za kikabila na siasa za chama chochote cha kisiasa, na kwa hivyo walengwe, waangaliwe, wachunguzwe, na kama watapatikana na hatia waadhibiwe kulingana na sheria iliyo.
We have said the war on corruption, the fight against corruption, the corruption allegation are individual. There is nothing corrective. What we have said today as leadership of Central, kama wewe umetajwa kwa ufisadi, beba msalaba yako.
That we support His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto on the fight against corruption, and further urge them to escalate the war against corruption at all levels of government.
Kapsaret Member of Parliament Oscar Sudi has claimed he is ready to lose his seat in the 2017 elections for being a Jubilee coalition rebel. Speaking in Kapsaret during a fundraiser, the Member of Parliament, who has broken ranks with URP and opted to campaign for a KANU candidate in Kericho, says he will no longer tolerate empty promises and graft within the ruling coalition.
Kubali uchumi ya inji iende chini zaidi, na tunapigiana makofi kusema ati kwa sababu uko kwa chama ya Jubilee lazima ufunge mdomo wako. Hapana, hiyo hatuwezi kukubali. Na hiyo nimesema mimi ndasimama na msimamo yangu. Kura ifike isifike, nipate nikoze, nitasema ukweli. So watu wasinisupport wakisema ati Sudi ameenda opposition, sijui amefanya nini. Hapana. Hiyo hapana. Nipate ni sawa. Nikikoza naenda kwa kijiji, ninaungana na wazee wenzangu, tunafanya kazi nyingine kama ni ya kuuza makani fanya, lakini kazi ya kupigia mtu debe ama kupiga debe na wananchi wanaumia, hiyo mimi nimesema hakuna. Na siwezi kukubali. Ama wananchi mnakubali hiyo? Tunataka tuwe na serikali ya umoja. Kama ni shida walimu, wakae chini bila kiburi na heshima, wapatie walimu mkakati, waseme jameni tukae namna hii, siku nyingine mtapata hivi na hivi. Lakini sio kupiga kifua na kusema ati tutaandika wengine ama sijui tumevumilia mambo mengi, na tuwezi kukubali hiyo lugha kama tuko kwa Jubilee. Lazima turekebishe sasa kama tujafika kura hiyo nyingine ya 2017. Lazima turekebishe mambo yetu mingi. Kama tuliahidi barabara tujenge. Kama tuliahidi nini tufanye.
Chief Justice Willy Mutunga has launched 2 reports and a book that outline mechanisms the judiciary will employ in resolving electoral disputes. Speaking during the launch of the documents at the Supreme Court, the CJ said he hoped the strategic plan report of 2012 to 2015 would help the judiciary be better equipped to execute speedy and efficient justice for parties requiring intervention of the law. Also speaking at the launch was the Attorney General Githu Muigai, who lauded the move to launch the Judiciary Committee on Elections strategic plan, saying it is a great milestone for the judiciary. The 13-member committee was formed back in 2012 upon the recommendations of the Kriegler report and played a key role in sorting out electoral disputes that followed the 2013 general elections. It is now hoping to improve on its mechanisms for the 2017 elections.
After a series of forums that have been held by various stakeholders brought together by my office and the Judiciary Committee on Elections to reflect on the last general elections and to ensure that what was not desirable is not repeated as we prepare for the coming elections in 2017.
The free, fair, and peaceful transition of power is critical to successful democracy. It's critical to a successful country. Kenyans who suffered through the 2007-2008 post-election violence know this from terrible, terrible experience. They know, Kenyans know, that strong institutions are central to reaching this goal, to hold free and fair, peaceful elections. And doing so requires a strong electoral commission capable of running a transparent, good poll, and a strong judiciary capable of adjudicating disputes.
The 2017 election will be the second election carried out under the Constitution. And due to an increased interest in several of the elective positions, we anticipate that there may even be more cases filed. It is imperative, therefore, that the judiciary is prepared and able to handle any electoral disputes that may emerge at all stages of the electoral cycle. The reconstituted committee, unlike its predecessor, is a permanent body to ensure that the judiciary's preparations follow the electoral cycle approach and continuously learns, improves, and adapts.
Now, 4 suspected thieves were on Thursday night lynched by angry Riruta estate residents and 2 others shot dead by the police after they were found stealing from a shop in Riruta. Take a look.
Mimi ndio landlord hapa. Kwa hivyo hii vita yote ilitokea usiku. Iko kijana mmoja ambao analipiwa nyumba hii ni maisha poa. Lakini aliweza kuleta grupu nyingine ambao wastahili kuingia nyumba hii. Sasa iko pahali wanaenda kupola. Sasa wakafuatana na polisi. Sasa ndio akafuatwa na askari, mmoja alikuwa amepigwa risasi, lakini wengine wote wakawa hapa. Kwa hivyo wamepigiwa hapa na wakakufia hapa na ndio wakapelekwa mochari.
Hao vijana walikuwa wanakaa, mmoja ndiye alikuwa anakaa kwa hii nyumba. Juu niliona sasa ile waliuawa, hao vijana ni wachanga sana, they are very young. And then katika area hii yetu ya Satellite kumekuwa na wizi nyingi sana. But I think OCS wetu waliruta anafanya effort because ukienda umpigie report hata kama ni usiku huwa anajaribu mahali anaweza kujaribu.
And on perceived political party rebels, Mwingi Central Member of Parliament Joe Mutambu has said it is pointless for the Wiper Party to remove him from House committees in the National Assembly. Speaking at Musila Gardens in Mwingi Town, Mutambu says he is a founding member of the party and will remain so despite being cut off House committees by the party. He maintains that the party owes him a lot and cannot throw him out when he has a legitimate claim to the party.
I am one disappointed man because that party Wiper, I'm the father and I'm the mother. Everything in that office, and I want to declare it today, nikiwa hapa Mwingi mahali nimezaliwa, ile ofisi ya Wiper, ile kiti inakaliwa na party leader, ile inakaliwa na chairman, ile inakaliwa na secretary, imenunuliwa na Mutambo na pesa yangu na niko na msiki. Those people think you can whip Mutambo. You cannot. Na wala wanasema Mutambo toka kwa chama. Mimi chaguliwa na chama, nilichaguliwa na watu wa Mwingi Central. Na ukanipa hiyo tikiti ya chama na watu wa Mwingi wanikatae, wataniangusha tu. Na wewe unafikiria tukipewa hiyo tikiti ya chama ndio utapita, wewe kwenda pewa kuja kutana na Mutambo. Nitakutanyanga kama kanyanga na wewe. Manake nguvu zangu si za chama, nguvu zangu ni za mapenzi ya watu wa Mwingi Central na ile kazi ambayo nawafanyia.
The Transition Authority has expressed fears of legal gaps in the Transition to Devolved Government Act, even as its term comes to an end next month. The authority chairman, Kinuthia Wamwangi, said the act that created it will also expire on the same day the TA's term expires. The authority has been pushing for extension of its life, saying it has not completed its work.
We won't tell Kenyans that we have been preparing for this from last year in July. And that's why we were able to commission studies on the status of devolution, and we have our consultants here with us, Kipra, and we also have moved in the field, and we have gathered data on all aspects of our work in the last 4 years. So we're just now finalizing that and collating it into a document. And Kenyans should not be confused by what they are reading in the media. It's not like we don't want to go. We are very prepared to go. But it was important for us to sensitize the nation to tell them that there are certain critical aspects of our work that has not been done. And we are seeing one critical danger and risk. And the risk is, all this time we used an act of parliament, the Transition to County Governments Act, the Transition to Devolved Government Act. And that act will come to an end the day we also shall come, it will expire actually. It is the one that formed us, and it will expire on the same day.
You're watching The Weekend at 1. Let's take a short commercial break. We'll be back with more. And it is on that note that we wind up The Weekend at 1. Many thanks for watching. My name is Michelle Ngele. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon.